Greetings, everybody. I'm back. I'm back, everybody. It's good to see you guys once again here on Franman Entertainment on my YouTube channel. How is it going, everybody? It's been quite a while. I'm about to say like 3 months at least. I know you're thinking, Franman, you were supposed to be streaming at least 2 weeks when you moved into your new place. What happened? What's been going on? Well, chat, let me tell you what happened right now. Well, chat, it's been quite an interesting 3 months, I will say. A lot of things have happened besides just moving. And I already have spoiled it for you guys. Look at my stuff right behind me. This is not something that you normally see. My previous apartment, I didn't really feel too comfortable showing it the way the background looked. Just a natural background, no green screen or nothing. It's because the room that I was in was quite smaller. But this one's much bigger. So why don't I give you guys a quick tour before we get back into things. Ladies and gentlemen of Franman Entertainment, this is the entrance to the gaming room. Yes, I'm still in an apartment. I think I've told you guys that a few months ago that I don't have a house just yet, but I'm working on that. So right now we have the sign, do not disturb, gaming in progress. And sorry about the sound quality as well. I'm actually just recording this through my iPhone. I don't have no thing either. And let's see here, we have this as well. It's a pretty new thing, it's kind of falling off there. There we go, perfect. Okay. Now, let's open it up. Yes, I have my internet cables through the floor just because that's just how I want to have my internet. And yeah, it looks a little messy, but I don't have time for all the other stuff. Well, I'm going to close the door. I can't really show too much of the apartment. I just want to respect the privacy of the people that live with me and stuff like that. So here we go. They got a Mario Kart 8 poster up there. I have yet to get a Mario Kart World one, but I'll talk more about that stuff later. And I have this pretty cool sign right here. Look at this. Yes, if you guys didn't know, for Nintendo and all that stuff, I've always been a Sony fan since the PS1 days, PS2, 3, 4, 5. It's amazing. All of the DualShocks and the DualSense controllers in one. Now, the cool thing about this is that the apartment comes with a fan feature that you'll be able to do this, and then that'll turn the fan on, but I don't need that fan on right now, so I'm gonna turn that crap off right now. But yeah, just another interesting thing. Of course, you got the light switch. And then, before we come this way, let's just come over here, take you a little quick tour. Okay, so here we go. We got my punch out sign, sprinkler system, of course, and then we have our calendar. Cheers to the Kingdom. It's Sidon, our boy Sidon here in August. I think I tore it up a little bit when I flipped it. Oh well, mistakes happen. And then it's actually one of my closets are in here. It's a much smaller closet, but most of it's compact drawers. Yeah, it's a little messy right now. Just haven't got a chance to organize a couple of things because I ordered some things previously that I need to put up and take care of, but that's why I wanted to tell you guys what's been going on with me in the past 3 months, why I've been absent on Franman Entertainment, of course, clothes and whatnot, and then just to show you guys just a bunch of gaming stuff like that. Nothing fancy, just controller stuff. But yeah, just giving you the quick tour, y'all, because I want to update you guys on things. And there's my old executive chair, if you guys remember this from previous streams. This is actually just a regular chair for my guests when they come over and they could start using that stuff. And then of course I have the old reclining chair as well that I use for the living room setup. And I have this. Don't know why the hell I didn't even put this up yet. But I have my PS3 here. I think this is the hardware version where it plays PS1, PS2, PS3 via hardware emulation. And then my software emulation is actually right over there. So 2 different models of the PS3. They may look the same, but internally they are different. And of course my controllers and stuff like that. OG PS4, the OG Switch from launch day. My Wii U is still there with the gamepad. It still works. I love it so much. I don't really use this TV as much, but I want to make sure I conserve its lifespan, so that's why I use it sparingly. But any chance I just want to feel like playing some Wii U or something like that, I'll use. That's pretty much what I really only use it for, is the Wii U. Or if I want to watch a Blu-ray in this room, I just put it in the PS4. That's really what it's for. Or if guests come over, they want to play on the TV, they can play whatever they want, and of course they can play the Switch because, you know, Switch stuff like that. Now let's come over here. I happen to have my game consoles and my games as well. Yes, I have quite a lot. And remember, this is from over the years since I was 1 year old, chat. 1 year old. And I keep saying chat. Why do I always think I'm live streaming? It's just a force of habit, everybody. I'm sorry about that. But yes, ladies and gentlemen of YouTube, I still collect every now and then, just not a lot though, because I don't want to spend an exceeding amount of money on this stuff. And yes, I happen to get this, by the way, the Donkey Kong Bonanza Pauline and Donkey Kong amiibo figure. Now the question is, do I have any Switch 2 stuff? Well, ladies and gentlemen, let's get that thing spoiled right now. Look at that, up there on top of the Wii U box. I'm not sure if you guys pointed it out, but I'm not gonna sit here and lie to you guys. Yes, I now officially own the Nintendo Switch 2. It's actually in the living room right now because I've been playing it a lot there, just so that way I can see what it's like playing it on the TV. And it certainly is pretty cool, but I have yet to hook it up onto the PC. But yeah, chat. And let's see, we got Sora. Yeah, I picked him up too. So yeah, I have a lot of crap here. But yes, in other words, I do have Switch 2 stuff. I'll talk more about this stuff later, but I just want to show you guys my collection that I have right now. And you guys are like, man, you were not gonna get it, but yeah, I'll tell you why in a second, why I ended up getting it sooner than I thought. I'm sorry, everybody. I know I talked a lot of shit about it back in the past when we were watching the Nintendo Switch 2 Direct, but I just couldn't wait any longer. Not to mention it's something that I got not just for me, but for my fiance as well. We both have lots of fun playing the games together, such as Mario Kart World and Donkey Kong Bonanza, which unfortunately means I spoil the game for myself, and also in turns when I play it someday on my channel, that I will know a little bit about the game. But I didn't go that far into either of them, so it'll still be a surprise for whenever I decide to live stream these games again. But I will mention more about that stuff in the upcoming videos that comes along. Let's keep going. And then of course I have my printer here. I've only used it one time, but it is very handy for whenever I need to print out stuff. Then I have a bunch of other games I haven't put up yet because I gotta organize them. I picked all of that from Vintage Stock, I think around a couple months ago, right as we moved it in. But like I said, I got that on deals. I didn't spend an exceeding amount of money. Then we got Isabel over there, and then I have my signs. Then a security camera as well, just in case anything happens. Then of course I got my Sonic the Hedgehog clock. Here's the setup. You guys, I don't think I've ever seen the setup, you know, from behind. So I figured I'd show you guys the little setup. Not too bad. Yep. And of course, there's the monstrosity gaming computer as well. So far, it's been working around the same. It has been pretty good. But the LED lights on the I/O front panel are kind of wonky. I think they're browning out, so I'm gonna have to get that fixed. And sorry about the dust. I haven't got a chance to clean it right before I started filming. Then my Super Mario Kart, yeah, if you didn't know, yes, I do like Mario Kart. And then of course I have my closet full of clothes, so there's that. Quite a lot of shit that I have here, but you know, it seems like I always wear the same things all the time, but again, I don't really go out as much whenever I have a lot of work to do, so, but I try to do my best. Alrighty, let's get back to business, shall we? And that concludes the gaming room tour and the YouTube setup room, chat. I hope you guys enjoyed that a little bit. I never really showed out my setup a lot, and I figured you guys deserve to see how Franman has set everything up for Franman Entertainment. I've had a lot of different setups over the years. I wish I would have took pictures of all of them, but knowing me, I never really like to show how it used to look because it was really ugly. But this is the way it looks so far. I hope you guys like that. But let's finally get back into official business with what we're going to be talking about. Ladies and gentlemen of Franman Entertainment, on June 8th, 2025, sometime in the morning, close to the afternoon, it was very hot that day, believe me. Everybody was hot. Now, who by everybody might ask? Well, chat, that day was the day that I finally popped the question and proposed to my now fiance that said yes, and now we are officially engaged. Now, as far as a wedding date, that'll come soon, chat. But I'm now officially engaged to my fiance right here, and I have blurred her face out. It's because she's asked me to just blur her out because she's not really comfortable being on the internet, and I can understand that. So until she says something, she will be blurred out. But yes, there's the ring, chat, and there's me, of course. And I proposed to her out into a conservation area in a trail park. It was amazing. The family was there. They all watched and recorded. It was a good time. And now you know why I skipped ahead to June, chat, because I wanted to tell everybody that I'm officially engaged publicly to everybody on YouTube. And now I can finally call her my fiance. I've been obviously calling that for a while, but officially now from entertainment when we're talking about certain things. Well, chat, now let's go into May. So on May 1st, it was a Thursday. I had to work that day, and so did my fiance, but we already had planned on taking the day off the next day to get things prepared for the next move-in at our new apartment. Well, I think that day the only thing we did was just move our beds and a couple of essentials such as food, water, toothbrushes and toothpaste and stuff, because we were planning on having the family come by on Saturday to help us out. The only ones I didn't actually ask for help that time were my sisters and my parents. Well, my sisters, you know, they had a lot of things going on, and also my parents. But also, my parents are getting much older now, everybody, and I don't want to strain them with a lot of things that could hurt them. Because when they helped us move to our old apartment, I noticed that my mom and dad were already getting tired fast, and I had to tell them just to sit down and eat something and drink something. So I didn't ask them for help that time because I wanted to make sure that they're okay. But my fiance's parents came to help us out, and so did her aunt and uncle, and it was a 12-hour process nonstop. We all took like a break. We had some pizza just to get everybody fueled up, and we were all good to go. And at that point on, I think we were working from like super early in the morning to like super late at night, close to midnight, because we had actually had to take a few trips back and forth from the old apartment to the new apartment, and then we had to go to her parents' house to get some things and then come back with that. But as soon as we got everything moved, it was great. But the apartment looked like hell. It was a mess, everybody. It was awful. And then on top of that, I was trying to get other things moved around so that way we could walk around the apartment and get things going. But the next day, you know, my fiance worked on the kitchen, I worked on the living room, and then I worked on my gaming room. But it was a lot of work that needed to be done, chat. But as soon as we got everything set up, we were having trouble with the internet. And that internet stuff was a nightmare. It was like a whole week until we got internet to work. Now, let me tell you guys what happened. I'm going to try to make this quick as well. So Google came by, right? Google was scheduled to work on internet at our apartment. And this is exactly what happened. They had another client that they had to work on their internet in an apartment in this area, but it was an apartment that was in a different building. So rather than Google trying to check up on me to make sure that they're at the right place, they instead go to the other person and then they say, "Oh, Google's here. How are you doing?" And then Google doesn't even verify that they are the person that they're getting checked on. Instead, they asked, "Are you so-and-so?" And they say, "Yes, I am." You're not Franman. But they end up taking it anyways because they were expecting Google. So Google really messed up. And what happened was that they set up their internet with information that was supposed to be for me, and they left. And I was like, "Where's my internet?" So they didn't even come by my apartment. I had to call them, then they came back, and then they finally got the internet to set up. But this is where it really pissed me off, everybody. So what happens is that they couldn't figure out why they couldn't get it to work. But because they didn't check in with the other person, they end up swapping serial information with our Google Fiber jacks and our routers. So I was getting their information and they were getting my information, and neither of us had any functional internet. So for a whole week, we didn't have anything at all. And I've been trying to call Google 8 times and they could not do anything at all to get somebody to come fix it. And it was pissing me off so bad that I was going to cancel my Google internet. But thankfully, my fiance has a friend, and her friend fiance works at Google. And during that time, he was doing the service tech, field stuff. He was fixing things, and he offered to come help us out during that time to get our internet back up and running, even though he doesn't do the area that we live at. But he did it as a favor, and because Google really messed with us. So all he had to do was just come by and check the internet, and he's like, "Well, just got a wrong serial number. Let's just switch that over here, do some computer work." Boom, all done. That's all he had to do, and the internet was up and running. And without him, we probably would have never had internet that soon. But it was a struggle to get the internet to work, and it was pissing me off because I was trying to not rush it, but to get it set up so that way I can finally start streaming. So with all that internet crap going on, man, it was a headache. So with all the bullshit with the Google Fiber internet and with all the setup that I had to do and the apartment having to be clean, neat, and tidy and to get everything set up the way that we needed to, how come I didn't go back to live streaming right away? Well, after we got the internet and things set up, everybody, I think one of those weekends, it was Mother's Day and it was also my mom's birthday. So I had to go spend time with her and the family, and it was lots of fun. Had some great food and whatnot, and we talked about a lot of stories, and then talked about how it was a move-in. So a lot of May, everybody, was about family. Yeah, I say to myself every day that, you know, you got to be grateful for your family, and you never know when you'll be able to see your family again, you know. And it was nice to be able to see the family a lot in May, because I really feel like I haven't saw them a lot in the past until recently. So I spent a lot of time with family here on now. I didn't really spend a lot of time working. I just worked my normal scheduled days, and that was that. So on Mondays, when I was already spending time with the family, Saturdays and Sundays, I kind of wanted to just have a day to myself, and then of course for a day for my fiance and I to spend time with each other, watch movies and stuff like that. And then at that point on, I just was like, well, rep, there goes the night. But I just wasn't in that mood for streaming. And obviously nobody should do something that they don't feel like doing at that moment, because it will result in putting out a poor product, such as a poor stream. So guys, I didn't just take off just to take off. I took off to spend time with family and to kind of basically take a mental break throughout the times. So as the May went on, there was birthday parties, there was family reunions, there was get-togethers. So a lot of May was family. When June came along, of course, you guys know the proposal happened, but then I actually had a new job. Not necessarily a new job, but I had a new classification at my job that I'm still at right now. I thought I would like it, but I didn't like it. I really got too bored of it, so I went back to my old classification right as July came around. So it was more about focusing on the job for a little bit, so I got back into working a little bit more during June. And then during that time, I think there was, I don't even remember what happened, everybody, but there was a lot of things that were going on that have just made me forget about this whole YouTube thing. And I just was like, man, like, I know I'm supposed to do something. I'm supposed to stream. I'm supposed to do this. But the problem is that I tend to do a lot of things at once, and just to focus on one thing instead. And right around July, I went back to my old classification at my job. So I continued doing the same thing that I've done in the past. And then I think it was 4th of July and all that. But there was also a summer shutdown, or in this case, our summer vacation. And we got paid for that week at my job. So during that week, I was off. But instead of getting back into streaming that week, I was focusing on just making sure that the apartment was nice and tidy, since my fiance was working that whole week. And of course, I, made food. I went out to go get things. I was kind of basically being like a quote unquote house husband, even though I'm not an official husband. But I was basically taking care of the house during that time. And whenever I waited for her to get home, obviously I made sure that she has something to eat, and I would make her fresh food during that time. So I did a lot of you could say housekeeping during that week, just to be sure I did my part, But then after that, I went on and I started getting back onto my computer, and I started working on something during that week, everybody. So let me show you what I've been working on. So guys, during that time of the summer shutdown, instead of getting back into streaming, I actually made 2 lists. You guys can see it right now. We have a new games backlog and a replay games backlog. Let's talk about what all this crap means here on Franman Entertainment. So during that time, I made this long list, and this list is so long, in fact, that it is just unbelievable how I came up with this. So what does this all mean, Fran Man? Well, before I got back into streaming, I told myself, before I get back into live streaming, I need to make a list. Otherwise, it's just going to be bothering me. Now, this new games backlog is exactly the games that I have not played yet, everybody. And these are games that I'm planning on wanting to play someday on Franman Entertainment via live stream, or maybe some playthrough or whatever. So we have Rolling Thunder, Kid Icarus, the Castlevania series. Yeah, I kind of got a little lazy in the beginning. I started putting series instead of putting the individual game. But the idea, everybody on YouTube, is the fact that these are games that I have not played yet, and I definitely want to play them. Like some of the Final Fantasy games, some of the Kingdom Hearts games, Donkey Kong games, of course Metroid. Don't worry, we'll get back into Metroid soon, but I'll talk more about that later. Even some of the Zelda games I haven't played, the Chrono games, Resident Evil games, the GTA games, the Xeno games. The list just keeps going, man. So I worked on this long list. So during that week, I was working on this, just getting some games up. And then, of course, I have the replay games backlogs. Now, these are games that I've already played and beaten at least one time, everybody. However, these are games that I need to go back to because I haven't played them in a while. But I also need to play them at least one time on my YouTube channel. And yes, there is quite a lot of them too that I have to replay. and of course replay in the sense that I haven't fully 100% them, or I've missed things on my first playthrough that I need to go back and play again. So yes, even Another Crab's Treasure right here is something that I want to replay again, and GTA Seafood. Yeah, all the games that I've already played that I need to do, and of course games like Sekiro. And right now the list is currently at 180. There's probably a lot more games that I need to actually go back and play, but this is just to give you an idea, ladies and gentlemen, on Franman Entertainment, that there is a lot of games that Franman has not played yet, and there's a lot of games that I need to replay and that I need to get back into. Well, how'd you guys enjoy those lists? Quite a lot of games, isn't there? Yes, that's what I was working on during that week when I was off. I wanted to get a whole list to show you guys the games and the future of Franman Entertainment, and hopefully someday I can live stream those games for you. And speaking of live stream, is Franman going back to live streaming? And the answer is yes, everybody. I'm finally going to be able to come back and live stream once again. Now, when is that date, you ask? Well, hopefully it's sometime this Monday as usual. If you guys know, Monday night, 9 p.m. Central Standard Time live streams here on Franman Entertainment. That's the time when we do them. And the game we'll be playing is Metroid Zero Mission. We got to get back into what I started a few months ago after we finished Metroid Fusion. Now, don't worry, everybody. I will still indeed make those video game review videos I've been talking about for a long time now. Just remember, I still got to play the games a few times, and I have to record the footage as well to showcase everything, write the scripts. So those videos will be in a long production, especially since I don't have full-time access to YouTube like I wanted to. So for the time being, we'll continue our normal live streaming sessions here. I'll make sure to update you guys on when I'll live stream again after I get this video uploaded, and then from there we'll continue where we left off. But I just wanted to make this video quick and simple. Hopefully it didn't last too long. Let you guys know what the future is for Franman Entertainment. But hopefully we'll get back into the good things. I hope you guys enjoyed this and you guys are well informed of what's been going on. Thank you guys so much for watching this. If you guys enjoyed it, you all know what to do. Please like the video, share the video, and comment down below. And don't forget to subscribe to Franman Entertainment if you haven't. And as always, stay fantastic and feed the good wolf. I will see you guys on the next live stream.